What is up, meatheads? That's right, I'm back. It's been a minute. As you may have guessed, been a little busy with COVID and taking care of some of my own stuff. But we are back, and unfortunately, I'm not going to get to do the triumphant return with a nice positive post about, priorities and goal setting and, inspiration and all of those things that I love to talk about. We're going to have to save that one for next week because I was foolish enough to get involved in some social media comments about the COVID vaccine tonight, and the internet has forced my hand. So that's what we're going to talk about, is the COVID vaccine. So from the outset, I just want to say this. I have been working on COVID since February of last year. Every single day I have been dealing with COVID, both in a clinical sense, an epidemiologic sense, and any other sense you can think of that may encompass my job. I have also read a significant amount on the vaccine, pretty much every study I can get my hands on as I'm dealing with the distribution of it and making recommendations. I've also had COVID in June of last year, and it was the sickest I've ever been in my life. So even with all of that information, I still got the vaccine as quickly as I possibly could. And I have recommended it so strongly to the people I love, that I care about most in the world, my wife, my family, my friends, coworkers, etc., that they need to get this vaccine. With all of the information, accurate information that's available, I still want everyone to get it. Either I'm a horrible sociopath, which, jury's out, or I might be onto something and the vaccine's not as scary as social media may make it think. So, time to talk about some Mythbusters on the vaccine. I'll go through a few. I'm happy to answer more questions after this. If you bring a ruckus in the comments, I'm not going to respond to you. But if you have legitimate questions, I'd be happy to answer them. I want to educate everybody because this thing is really not that scary. So, myth number one. You get COVID from the vaccine and it turns you into an asymptomatic carrier. I don't know who made this up. It's absolute nonsense because that's not the way the vaccine works. So the vaccine is designed to inject the mRNA, which is a messenger protein, into your body that then gets brought into the cytoplasm of your cell. It does not go into the nucleus and change your DNA like some people have suggested. There is an immune response that happens in the cytoplasm that causes you to produce antibodies and other proteins that help you to fight future COVID infections. mRNA is one tiny little piece of viral protein. There is not enough information there to create a live virus. So it is physiologically impossible to get COVID from the vaccine. Now you may say, well, I got the vaccine and I got really sick afterwards. Yeah, me too. I was pretty miserable for about 2 days. And that's what we call a vaccine reaction. It's not necessarily that you have COVID. It's kind of like some people will say they got the flu from the flu shot. This is even less dangerous than that because there's no live virus whatsoever. What happens is your body's mounting an immune response to the vaccine so that you can fight COVID in the future. So if you feel a little crummy afterwards, some body aches, fatigue, maybe a low-grade fever, just generally kind of feeling crappy, that's okay. That usually lasts a few days afterwards. It doesn't happen to everybody. But that will go away. Your arm will be a little sore, but that's a shot. It happens. It's no worse than a really bad shoulder day. So, next myth. Where should I go next? Oh yeah, how about that the COVID vaccine is going to make you infertile? So let's unpack this one a little bit. I heard this one from a patient at work, and it kind of threw me off. I wasn't really expecting that. So, one, infertility is defined in medical literature as 12 months of attempted conception of a child with no success. They came to me with this information less than 12 months since we knew what COVID was. So the vaccine trials didn't even start for months and months and months after that, and we're still not even 12 months from the initial vaccine trial. So I'm not really sure how that works. So if somebody can explain that to me, that'd be great. Some people are saying it affects gametes and proteins within your body that could possibly affect birth and fertility and all of this nonsense. It's not really how the human body works in real life. There may be some things in vitro, like in a lab, in a petri dish, that function that way, but the body is a much more well-designed system than that. To follow up on that one, I've heard claims of birth defects from people who have gotten the COVID vaccine. Well, unless somebody was very pregnant at the beginning of the clinical trials, it would be very, very hard for them to develop birth defects for that baby when they got the vaccine and gave birth. Additionally, all of the trials excluded pregnant patients initially. In fact, that's one of the reasons that we don't recommend pregnant patients get the COVID vaccine right now, because we don't have safety data. So again, not sure where this information came from. I don't know what to tell you. Here's another one, the microchip in the vaccine. This is probably my favorite. So there is no microchip in the vaccine. That doesn't even make sense. What you're watching this video on now has a microchip that tracks you every single second of your day. And you put all of your vital information into it and share it with other people. Nobody wants to microchip you because they already have. So don't stress about that. I'm not even gonna go into the Bill Gates thing and 5G because that just makes my head hurt. But let's talk about, I don't know, let's go into, well, if I just eat healthy and exercise hard, then I don't need the vaccine. Well, I would never discourage somebody from eating healthy and exercising hard. I mean, I just finished up a squat and deadlift workout, and unfortunately I'm cutting weight right now, so I'm eating a lot of healthy stuff. Okay. Does eating healthy keep you from dying when your lungs stop working? I would suggest no. I was very healthy when I got COVID. I was eating very well. I was training super hard, getting ready for Worlds. And guess what? I got COVID and I couldn't breathe, and I was in the ER, and I was having cardiac issues related to that. So I don't know, I guess I just need to train harder, maybe take some more vitamin D, which I already take every day. Oh wait, what about zinc? Oh wait, I already take that every day. Vitamin C, yeah, that too. I'm running out of stuff to do, guys. What should I do? Should I maybe get a vaccine? I don't know, that sounds kind of crazy. So let's go into a couple of more. You know, I've gotten some interesting questions. Somebody asked, well, why do we have to keep wearing masks if the vaccine is so good? This is another good one, and this requires a little bit more nuance, and it's actually a really good question. So I don't mind going into this one because it doesn't make me feel like I'm living in a fantasy world. So the reason that we need to continue with masks and social distancing as the populace gets vaccinated is, there's a few reasons actually. One, we know that the COVID vaccine, like every other vaccine, is not 100% effective. Studies say 90 to 95%. It's probably gonna wind up being a little less than that in long-term efficacy studies, but that's okay. A good vaccine is 50 to 60% effective, which is why we need herd immunity, which is why we need to vaccinate everybody. Because if you have enough people with effective vaccines, people don't get sick. Anybody on here watching this ever get polio? I know I haven't. Maybe ask your grandparents about how big of a deal that was. We've never heard of it, most of us, because we got vaccinated. It's been eliminated. So that's one reason why we need to make sure that we're vaccinating. The reason we need the masks with vaccination is because it's not 100%. And not everybody's gonna get vaccinated right away because there's not enough supplies. So we have to continue masking and social distancing practices as we continue to vaccinate the general populace. That will change quarantine, that will change all of these things. This is the first step back to the regular world. I don't know how many times I have to say that. I was literally joyful when I got this vaccine. The trauma that I've experienced dealing with COVID, and I don't even get the worst of it because I'm not in the ER, I'm not in the ICU. I want that to end, and I want that to end for all of you too. People have lost jobs, people have lost their lives, people have lost so many things due to COVID. And now you don't want to get the best thing we have to fight against it because it's a little shot that maybe has some, things that you're not used to reading on a label in it. I really, really encourage you guys to go get this vaccine. I can't encourage it enough. It is my strongest medical advice, and I don't even give medical advice on this platform. It is my strongest advice to take care of all of you because that's how much I care about each and every one of you. I want everyone I care about to get this vaccine. I'm running out of battery on my phone and I'm running out of time. Hit me up in the comments if you want to ask a real question. If you just want to talk shit, then just read this shirt. Do no harm. I'm not gonna take your shit. So thanks for listening, guys. It is great to be back. It is great to be starting to win the fight against COVID, and I really hope you're all doing well. Have a good night.